Hey, how's it going? It's Jocelyn Hillam here with Positivity in Pregnancy and Motherhood podcast. And if you are a first-time mom, if you are pregnant with your first baby, congratulations! I am so happy and excited for you in growing your family. What an exciting time and a thrilling opportunity to begin carrying a baby. It is really fun that first time to be pregnant. But as you go through pregnancy, you might find out that it's a little bit difficult. And that's why I have this podcast, is to help encourage you mentally so that your mind and your thoughts don't make it harder than it needs to be. That we train our mind and our thoughts around pregnancy and about pregnancy to work for us during the pregnancy and not to work against us and causing us extra pain and extra anguish. So that is kind of my mission, is to help encourage positivity during pregnancy, positive mindset, positive thoughts, and to kind of learn and train ourselves to shy away from the negative that pregnancy brings. This is really hard because there are a lot of changes that pregnancy brings to our bodies. Pregnancy changes a lot about our bodies, and we are not used to it, and it's difficult to deal with these changes. Implementing what you learn from this podcast into your life can help you during your pregnancies. But if you need deeper help, I have a program called the Positive in Pregnancy Program, or the Positive Pregnancy Program, which helps you to be positive during pregnancy. It is simple 1 to 2 minute videos that you watch when you are feeling down, and you do your best to feel and implement the exercises that I run you through. This can be really helpful in redirecting your mind from all the pains you are feeling and help you to move forward with more positivity. I am adding videos to this month. I will probably start around mid-September, like the 15th or so, and I will add extra videos to this. But I'm also going to put those videos on this podcast for a day. Well, not put the video on, but put the audio on the podcast for 24 hours. And I will let you know a podcast or two before I do that so that you can watch it or listen to it. You can listen to that while it is up because it will only be up for 24 hours, but it will give you a glimpse into what the Positive Pregnancy Program is like. I will also be displaying the video in my Facebook group, which is Pregnancy is Hard. And same thing, it will only be available to watch or listen to for 24 hours. After that, it'll go right into the course for those who need extra help and want to purchase that program. But as I mentioned, this is a great way for you to get a glimpse into what it's like and if this program is for you, if it will help you during your pregnancy. So that's a little glimpse into my mission and what I'm trying to do, and thank you for joining. Today we are going to talk about some questions to ask your doctor at your first prenatal visit. Hi, I'm Jocelyn, host of the Positive in Pregnancy and Motherhood podcast. I help pregnant women and mothers to find positivity in their season of life through changing their thoughts to work for them and not against them. I help mothers find the small, doable steps in thought and action without making drastic changes to their everyday mom life, and I can help you. Thanks for joining. So I didn't have a lot of experience with going to doctors before I got pregnant. I mean, I did have a little bit of experience, but I was always with my mom, and she kind of always took care of the questions and concerns. I didn't have to really even associate with the doctor. She would just tell them everything. We'd get what I needed, get it taken care of, and go out. So when I was pregnant with my first, I had no idea what I was doing in doctor's office or that you should prepare with questions. I just kind of showed up and they told me what they wanted to tell me, and then I kind of left. But going to these doctors is your opportunity to ask your questions you have about pregnancy, your questions you have about what's going on, what might happen, what their plans are, how they work, how their office goes, and stuff like that. I did not know on my first pregnancy that I should be writing down questions and asking them questions. And you don't have to write them down if you have a good memory, but for me, I always would get in their office and I would forget every question that I had had over the past few weeks, and I'd be really annoyed with myself. So it really helped me to write down the questions that I wanted to ask my doctor when I was in the office, because then I was able to ask him, I was able to articulate it better, and even if I wanted to, I could write the answer down. Now, I never did write the answer down, but having the questions written down was relieving. So I'm going to give you 5 questions that may be questions you want to ask your doctor or OBGYN or midwife, what have you, at your first prenatal visit. So the first question is, are all of my medications safe for pregnancy? That means all of the over-the-counter medications and your prescriptions. It is very good to check if these are okay with pregnancy because some medications cause side effects with pregnancy. And most of the side effects, if they cause side effects for your baby, they can be harmful to the baby in the pregnancy. So it is really good to check on medications. With my first baby, I didn't know that you weren't supposed to take ibuprofen. Ibuprofen is one of those that they say you should not take during pregnancy, but you should do Tylenol instead. So learning stuff like that and asking your doctor which of your medications is okay during pregnancy is a wise question to ask. The next question is, what modifications, if any, do I need to add to my workout routine? So with pregnancy, there are going to be modifications. Now, at your first visit, there probably won't be as many modifications, but as your belly begins to pop and you have the bump, you're going to have to make some modifications, especially if you were doing a lot of stomach lying exercises, because you can no longer lay on your stomach. That is not healthy for baby to lay on the stomach. And so asking your doctor what his or her insights are on changes to the workout routine is going to be a good question to ask them. Moving on to the next question, this one kind of depends on your office. And I learned this also with my first baby. I learned a ton of things with my first pregnancy that I had no idea about. So maybe if I can tell you what I learned, it will help you during your pregnancy to navigate it a lot better than I did. And the question is, talking and referring to your doctor, are you able to deliver for me? And if you are not, who will? So the first doctor's office that I went to, they had 3 or 4 OBGYN doctors in that office. And they didn't guarantee who would deliver your baby. It was kind of whoever was on call for the week that you delivered was who was going to deliver you. And that would have been fine if I liked all the doctors at that office. But there was one doctor I did not care for. He did not jive with my personality. I felt he was rude and treated me like a number. And that really drives me crazy when a doctor treats me not like a number and doesn't treat me like a person. And so I really did not want him to deliver my baby. But I could not control this. It just kind of depended on when the baby came. Ironically, my first baby came 9 weeks early, and the doctor who I did like was the one who did the emergency C-section. But because I didn't care for that one doctor, I decided to switch offices after that because it wasn't worth it to chance him delivering my baby in kind of delivery can kind of be a high-stress, emotional time, and having a doctor that didn't jive well with me would have just added to the stress. So I decided to switch offices to a doctor who I knew was going to deliver my baby, and he delivered my last 3 babies. Well, supposed to be 3 babies. He missed the delivery of the last one because she came so fast, but he was the doctor for my last 3 deliveries. Okay, the 4th question. How do I get in contact with you after hours? So this is a good question in case there is an emergency or in case you have something concerning and you need to call the office. My doctor's office has an after-hours phone service where someone kind of screens the call, talks to you, sees if it's something that she needs to call the doctor for or send you to the emergency room. And that's kind of what my office does. But it will be good to check what your doctor's office does for those after-hours emergencies. And kind of to go along with that, you could also ask the question, like, what is considered an emergency to you? Like, if I have cramping and bleeding, do I need to be calling you? What signifies that I need to call you is also a good companion question to go along with that. And the last question I have or you could ask something similar to this, is are there any restrictions for intimacy during pregnancy? Now, for some, that can be a very uncomfortable question. Even asking doctors questions can feel very intimidating and uncomfortable. But this is your health and the health of your baby, and you are in charge of taking care of you and your baby and asking them all the questions that you need to. In this podcast episode, I only did 5 questions, but there could be a plethora of other questions that you could ask your doctor if things come to your mind. And you are paying for this. You're paying to see your doctor, or your insurance is paying for it, to see your doctor and to be taken care of. And he's being paid to answer your question. So dealing with the mindset end of asking the questions, we kind of tend, or some of us can tend to work it up in our minds. We make it seem like this big, heavy thing and scary to ask a doctor these questions. But in reality, if we just choose to be like, this is just one of the questions I have, and play it as simple and not heavy with a lot of emotion, it'll be easier to ask the question. Now, this isn't always easy to do, and it does take time and intentionality to learn. But as you practice telling yourself the thoughts about the questions, like, this is simple, this is easy, I'm just asking a basic question, I don't need to associate pain and suffering with it, it can get easier to talk to the doctors. And just try it. As you have questions when you go to your doctor, try asking them. Try it. Like, just try it is the first spot to start, is to just do it. And then you'll find a rhythm when you discuss with your doctor some of your concerns. And sometimes this might even mean you need to find a new doctor or a different doctor that is a little more willing to take care of you as a mom who is growing a baby than as a number. But you can do it. You can do the hard things that this pregnancy is going to require. And you can have the mindset to do it. If you want positive encouragement, I encourage you to join my Facebook group at Pregnancy is Hard. And we will try to find positivity during this pregnancy for you. You got this, Mama. I actually want to review the 5 questions I asked before we end this episode. So if you wanted to write them down and you did not, here is a good opportunity to write down those questions, because I'll be giving them boom, 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 boom. All 5 in order. The first was, are all of my medications safe for pregnancy? Over-the-counter and prescription medications. The next question. What modifications, if any, do I need to add to my workout routine? Number 3, are you able to deliver my baby for me? If not, who will? Number 4, how do I get in contact with you after hours if I have an emergency? And a companion to that is, what is considered an emergency? And the last question that I posed is, are there restrictions to intimacy during pregnancy? And like I mentioned before, these are just a few sample questions you could ask your doctor at your first prenatal visit and get some good information. You are amazing, Mama. Your children need you. You need you. And God needs you to be the woman that you desire to be the mother that you have always envisioned, and to fulfill that role during pregnancy with a positive mind. I am cheering for you. Keep up the good work. Until next time. Thank you for being a part of the Positive in Pregnancy and Motherhood podcast, for listening, for sharing, and most of all, for applying these tools into your own life to improve your own happiness so that you can find your own better thoughts for a better you in a positive pregnancy, in losing that stubborn baby weight, and becoming the mom you desire to be through taking small steps in thought and action to reach your goals. If you are a mother who has an inner desire to enjoy motherhood and pregnancy better, but you are having difficulty figuring it out, I can help you. I can help you find the small, doable steps without drastic changes to your everyday mom life. Reach out, let's connect, and let's see you move forward. My name is Jocelyn, and I thank you for listening. Until next time.